Did you come for danger or for a daycare schedule? Did you come to get moved or to get approved? Did you come to sweat or to stay brand safe? Did you come to lose your voice or to keep your voice memo clean for Monday? Are you here for a ritual? Or are you here to be a tripod with feelings?
Either you're in the crowd or you're in your camera roll. Pick one. And don't lie, because I can see you. You're not capturing the moment. You're embalming it. Festivals used to be a pressure cooker. Now it's like a sponsored picnic where everyone's scared of being perceived wrong.
And when we say weak, we're not doing that old man nostalgia bullshit. Weak is concrete. Weak is lineups that feel like an HR-approved playlist. Weak is rules that read like an anal manual for how to breathe. Weak is a crowd that flinches more from eye contact than from a circle pit. Weak is everyone filming everything like they're making a documentary called How I Survived Having Fun.
Weak is when the loudest thing at the festival is the notification sound. Weak is when people look more stressed about their eyeliner than their pulse. And I'm not even judging the eyeliner, I'm judging the fear. Like, why did you accept a watered-down version of the thing that was supposed to rip you open?
So, here's the thesis, and it's gonna sting. Festivals didn't evolve. They got domesticated. Someone put a leash on the night and called it progress. The crowd became an audience of phones, the festival became a brand-safe backdrop, and the whole thing turned into a content farm with wristbands.
And this episode isn't back in my day. It's why did you accept less? And why are you defending it like it's your child? Because the second someone says this feels sanitized, the comfort addicts go feral, like we threatened their emotional support barricade.
Which is why we invited Napalm, not a guest, a controlled detonation, Ravena Deaththorn, Venomous Sin's dancer, queen of mosh pits, Gothenburg-based soldier, and makeup artist. Also known as Lady Nuclear, Napalm Queen, the Detonation. If you came here for a safe space, congratulations, you're lost.
Safe space. I'll give you a safe space. It's called your fucking living room. Festivals are not supposed to feel like a mall with louder shirts. If your heart rate doesn't spike at least once, you didn't attend a festival, you attended a themed queue. And if your biggest risk was, I might smudge my makeup, then you're not alive. You're just polished.
She's here because she doesn't do polite. She doesn't do let people enjoy things when the thing is already dead and we're just dancing on the corpse for Instagram. Ravena is what happens when you stop negotiating with comfort. She's not anyone's emotional babysitter.
And before the comment corpse brigade starts typing with their little trembling thumbs, listen. Venomous Sin declares war is metaphorical defiance. We're not attacking people. We're attacking the rulebook mindset, the culture of policing authenticity, the anal policies, the ones who turned rebellion into a dress code and called it inclusion.
Yeah, newcomers aren't the enemy. Casual fans aren't the enemy. The enemy is the vibe police, the ones who show up to a metal festival like it's a job interview, smiling like, please validate me as alternative. Babe, no, get dirty, get loud, or go home and hashtag halo yourself in the mirror.
Venomous Sin exists because me and Lena needed an unfiltered outlet, not a committee, not a PR team. If you like it, great. If you don't listen. We don't do begging, we do truth. And we do it loud enough that the sanitized parts of the scene start peeling.
And I'm gonna be crystal fucking clear. The weak festival symptom list is simple. Softer lineups, safer crowds, sanitized rules, phone-first zombies, people filming the pit like it's wildlife and they're on a school trip. If you're scared of getting touched in a crowd, don't stand in a crowd. That's not cruelty, that's physics.
A week ago, we dropped proof that we're not here to be domesticated. Venomous Sin declares war on war. That one. And no, it's not some cute peace sign lullaby. It's refusal. It's the sound of not being trained. It's the antidote to this beige festival culture where everything has to be nice.
So in this rant, you're getting two things, diagnosis and prescription. Diagnosis, how festival culture got softer without admitting it. Prescription, what needs to return. Risk, sweat, confrontation, real presence. And what needs to die. Sanitization, performative vibes, and the phone-first crowd that treats the night like a fucking spreadsheet.
And if you're already offended, good. That means there's still something in you that can feel impact. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what festival moment actually changed you, not what you posted. And if you say, I don't know, I'll pick one for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, comment it. Did you come for danger or daycare? And stay with us, because in a minute we're going to start naming the exact behaviors that turned festivals into content parasite feeding grounds, and why you keep defending the downgrade like it's a personality trait. All right, so weekly war declaration. Last week we declared war on feminism. This week we declare war on misogyny. And before the comment corpses start doing the pick a side Olympics, no. We're allergic to one-sided narratives. Same coin, different stamp. Feminism as power lust turns people into props. Misogyny as entitlement turns people into property. Different perfume, same rot. If your worldview needs someone else beneath you to feel tall, congratulations, you're not strong, you're just scared with a better logo.
And it's perfect timing because people keep acting like we're switching teams. Babe, we don't do teams. We do behavior. We torch the extremes because the extremes are the ones who always want moral immunity. Like, I'm oppressed, so I'm allowed to be abusive, or I'm a man, so I'm allowed to control. No. Both of you can choke on your ideology. Venomous Sin doesn't hate genders. We hate gatekeeping people's existence with a handbook and calling it truth.
I love when they panic. So which side are you on? I'm on the side of impact. If you need an ideology to justify being a cruel little parasite, I'll treat you like a target, not a debate partner. Misogynists, I'll kick your teeth in with your own tradition. Clitcrats, I'll use your halo as a fucking steering wheel and drive you into a wall. Equality means you all get the same smoke. No one gets a safety helmet.
Polarization detected. Moral immunity claim detected. Coin model confirmed. Extremes corrected.
And the proof is literally in the tracks. Misogynist Carcass, remastered, is our surgical strike on that guy who hates women because he can't handle rejection. The one who calls it truth because it sounds better than I'm insecure. Dehumanizing language, entitlement, control, disguised as tradition. Like, this is how it's always been. Yeah, and disease is also how it's always been, you walking infection. The carcass is what's left when empathy rots and ego becomes religion.
And then you have annihilation of the clitocracy. That's the counterstrike on weaponized feminism. Not liberation, not equal rights. I mean the status game version. Manipulation as morality. Men are disposable rhetoric. Cruelty, getting a halo because it's trending. The cloud economy, where if you say something vicious with the right buzzwords, you get crowned a saint and everyone pretends it's progress. That's not empowerment. That's just domination in lipstick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it the way it needs to be said. If your movement makes you enjoy humiliating people, you're not a freedom fighter. You're a bully with better PR. If your masculinity requires women to be smaller, you're not a man. You're a tantrum in pants. If your feminism requires men to kneel, you're not liberated. You're just building a new cage and calling it a palace. I don't care what flag you wave. If it's used to hit people, I'll rip it out of your hands.
Entitlement deleted. Status game morality deleted. Tradition used as control deleted. Empowerment used as abuse deleted.
Now the stage concept, because we don't just talk, we build the mirror. We split the performance. Two sides of the same coin so the audience can see the symmetry instead of arguing which poison tastes better. The men perform misogynist carcass. And it's not men bad, it's men who fear women and call it dominance. Strength isn't control. If you have to police someone else's body, voice, clothing, sexuality, then you're not dominant, you're dependent. You're literally dependent on someone else being smaller.
And the women perform annihilation of the clitocracy, aimed straight at the feminists who turned liberation into hierarchy and call it progress. Because yes, women can be perverts too, and it's okay. Women can be dominant, loud, filthy, ambitious, good, but that doesn't mean women can be abusive and it's righteous. That's the line. That's the difference between freedom and using pain as a currency. If your healing looks like revenge on strangers, you didn't heal. You just got a new costume.
And if anyone thinks that's too harsh, good. That means you still have nerves, because the softest people are always the ones enabling the worst behavior. They're like, let's hear both sides while someone's getting crushed. No, if you're using ideology to dominate others, you're not getting a TED Talk, you're getting a fucking crater. And if you're sitting there thinking she's aggressive, yeah, rage isn't owned by men. Women don't need to be ladies while being disrespected. I'll be a lady when you stop acting like a rat.
Rage ownership claim, invalid. Be a lady, command, rejected. Submission demand, corrected.
Founder's perspective, because otherwise people will try to turn this into a Twitter cage match. My angle is simple. Live and let live until someone starts policing others' existence. The second you start telling people who they're allowed to be, who they're allowed to fuck, what they're allowed to wear, what they're allowed to say, then the gloves come off. And I don't flatter, I don't conform. I do word aikido. You say I'm just being honest, and I say no, you're just being comfortable with your own cruelty.
And my angle is, don't call me empowered like it's a sticker you put on my forehead. I'm real. I'm warm with the people I love, and I'm venom when I see hypocrisy, especially when people hide behind victimhood as a weapon, because that's the dirtiest trick. You can't criticize me because I'm hurting. No, sweetheart, pain isn't a license to harm. If you're using your trauma to justify stepping on others, I will drag you by the hair back to reality and ask you why you're building the same hell you escaped.
And I'm the part of the band that doesn't negotiate. I don't care what label you wear. Misogynist, clitcrat, trad daddy, hashtag haloed cruelty merchant. If your worldview requires someone else to kneel, you're not strong, you're scared. And I'll treat you accordingly, like a threat. Not a person with valid feelings. Your feelings can be valid when fucking behave.
Both sides poison, confirmed. Gender hate, not detected. Behavior targeting, confirmed. War declaration status, active.
So yeah, Venomous Sin declares war on misogyny, not because we switch sides, but because we're consistent. We burn the extremes. We don't let any ideology become a free pass to be a piece of shit. And if that makes you angry, good. Aim that anger at your own camp first. That's where the rot hides.
Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't give us the safe answer. Tell us what you've actually seen. The misogyny that hides behind jokes. The feminism that hides behind morality. Tell us where you've watched people use a label as camouflage for abuse. And if you're one of them, don't worry. We've got songs for you.
Next week, I want a new target. Give me suggestions. And don't say something cute like bad vibes. I want real behavior, real rot, real excuses people use to hurt each other and still sleep at night. Hand it to me. I'll turn it into a fucking crater.
Comments requested. Next target, awaiting input. Extremes will be deleted.
All right, time to shift gears into a specific type of rot I like to call the biz-op parasite. You know the type. They don't have a business, they have a vision that requires your labor for free. They confuse desperation with entrepreneurship and think that because they bought a $300 course on financial freedom, I'm suddenly their pro bono engineer. It's a pyramid with a ring light and a prayer, and they're always looking for a mentor, which is just code for someone to do the work I don't understand.
Ugh, the boss bro cosplay. It's so anal transparent. They slide into the DMs with that fake friendly energy, like we're old war buddies, but the second you look closer, there's a leash hidden in the subtext. They don't want a partner, they want a host. They target people's hope and call it networking, but it's just a humiliation ritual where support actually means submit to my shitty plan.
Exactly. And I had one of these dildo prophets crawl out of the woodwork recently. This guy, let's call him the hustler, slides into my DMs. No hello, no how are you, just straight into the pitch. Hey Chavi, love the vibe of Venomous Sin. Listen, I've got this incredible opportunity, massive passive income potential. I just need a funnel built real quick. Like a landing page, email sequence, the whole system. We'll split the profits 50-50. Notice the math. 50% of zero is still zero, but 100% of my time is gone.
Profits? What fucking profits? These rats wouldn't know a profit margin if it bit them in their filtered faces. They want the whole system, but they probably can't even pay their own phone bill. It's entitlement masquerading as ambition. If you can't afford to pay for the tools of your trade, you don't have a business, you have a hobby you're trying to weaponize.
They crave the result without the sacrifice. They see Chavi's skill as community property, a digital resource they can just harvest. It's a deception. The compliment is the lure. The urgency is the trap. They name-drop people they've never met to build a fake floor under a house made of cards.
It gets better. I ignore the DM because, honestly, I have actual work to do. But this parasite thinks silence is an invitation to escalate. O2 AEO AM. My phone starts vibrating on the nightstand like a possessed insect. I pick up, thinking it's an emergency, and I hear, "Yo, Chavi, it's me again. Look, I was just thinking about that funnel. If we get it live by Monday, we could hit 6 figures by next month. You in?"
Anal audacity. Calling at 2 in the morning? That's not a business call. That's a declaration of war on sleep. Sleep is sacred. Anyone who breaks that boundary for an MLM pitch isn't a hustler. They're a social infection. They don't respect your time because they don't even respect their own.
If you call me at O2 War for a scam, I'll answer with a funeral. Seriously. I told him, "Do you know what time it is?" And he says, "Entrepreneurs don't sleep, bro. We grind." No, you don't grind. You leak. You're leaking your incompetence into my bedroom. You don't need a funnel. You need a job and a therapist.
I would have reached through the phone and turned his grind into a literal dental emergency. The emergency isn't the funnel. The emergency is his lack of basic human decency. These people think being unfiltered means they can ignore every wall you've built. Napalm is the only response to a 02 Extra AM pitch.
The funnel isn't for selling a product. It never is. It's a machine designed to farm friends and family. It's weaponized optimism with a checkout button. They want Chavi to build the engine that helps them prey on the next layer of desperate souls. It's a sentence of social damage, and they want him to sign it.
That's the crucifuck right there. They want a page, an email sequence, tracking, retargeting, a professional conversion machine to sell the dream of selling the dream. I don't build funnels for cults with payment plans. If your business model needs my guilt or my free labor to exist, it's not a business. It's a hostage situation.
And they always target the insecure. They sell permission to feel special. They use these boss babe slogans to make women feel like they're building empires when they're really just filling a garage with unsold leggings. If your community needs my wallet to love me, it's not a community, it's a leash.
So here is the boundary manifesto for all you sinners out there getting targeted by these content parasites. When they ask for a favor or a future split, you hit them with the triad: written scope, budget, and legal entity. Watch how fast they evaporate. If they can't write it down, they can't afford it.
Exactly. Your opportunity dies the moment it needs my time for free. And if they can't respect your sleep, they'll never respect your life. They'll bleed you dry and call it synergy.
I'll help builders. I'll stand in the trenches with someone actually swinging a hammer. But I crucifuck recruiters. If your only product is a seat at a table that doesn't exist, stay away from my DMs and definitely stay away from my phone at 02 AM.
Venomous Sin declares war on the hustle theater. We respect honest work, even if it's an office drone job. At least that's real. But this MLM, BizOp, funnel faking rot, it gets the nails every single time. Let us know in the comments. Who's the worst opportunity seeker that's ever tried to crawl into your life? Tell us the pitch. We need new targets for the next round of fuck you sauce. Right, we're done with festival weakness and parasitic hustlers. Now we're digging into something that cuts deeper, the single most violent piece of advice ever given to a target. Just ignore them.
Anal gaslighting, disguised as maturity. It's not advice, it's a muzzle. They're telling you to treat abuse like bad weather, and your reaction like a malfunction. Oh, don't let it get to you. As if the pain is a choice, and the bully is just background noise.
It's a demand for silence so the group can stay comfortable. Because if you react, you make them choose. And they're cowards. They'd rather watch you bleed than risk a conflict with the person doing the cutting. Ignore them is the coward's math. Your nervous system is cheaper than their social capital.
Exactly. It reframes violence as noise, and your pain as the problem. Think about that. The bully throws a rock, you bleed, and the advice is, don't look at the rock. It turns the target into a malfunctioning machine. The bully becomes a force of nature, and everyone else gets to pretend the room is still functional.
It's compliance training. They sell it as being the bigger person, but what it really means is be the smaller target. It's in the anal manual. Step 1, absorb. Step 2, smile. Step 3, if you complain, you're difficult. The system isn't broken. It's designed to protect itself, not you.
And the hidden message is so clear. Don't make us choose sides. People are terrified of confronting the bully. They're more scared of that confrontation than they are of watching you get destroyed. So they hand you the muzzle and call it a solution. It's a loyalty test. Pass by staying quiet, fail by speaking up.
And bullies know this. Your silence isn't peace to them. It's permission. It's the green light to escalate. Because the game isn't about the insult. It's about control. They push, you don't push back, so they push harder. Comment becomes a pattern. Pattern becomes isolation. Isolation becomes reputation damage. And by the time you finally snap, everyone says, "Why are you overreacting now?"
That's the trap. Ignoring removes your chance to set a clean, early boundary. You swallow it once, twice, 10 times, and then when you finally react, you're the unstable one. You're not reacting to one comment. You're reacting to the 100 you swallowed, but they only see the explosion.
So what actually works? It's not about winning an argument. It's about precise boundary statements that don't invite debate. Short, factual, no emotion, just observation. Don't speak to me like that. Stop commenting on my body. That's not a joke to me. You label the behavior, not the person. You say it once, then you walk away. No explaining, no defending.
Because over-explaining is fuel. It tells the bully exactly where it hurts. It gives them a map of your insecurities. You don't debate a grenade. You get out of the blast radius. Your boundary isn't a negotiation. It's a fact, like gravity.
Part 2. Consequences and leverage. Identify what the bully actually wants. Attention, status, a reaction, access to you. Cut that specific supply. If it's attention, you give them dead air. If it's status in a group, you expose the behavior to one credible person, not the whole mob. It's not about trading insults, it's about removing the reward.
Word Aikido. Agree, deflate, flip. You're so sensitive, maybe I am, and you're being a prick. Now what? You take their weapon, you own it, and you hand it back blunt. But the real power is in the escalation ladder. Direct boundary, written note, manager or teacher, formal report, external escalation. Boring, predictable, effective. It's not exciting, it's paperwork, and that's why it works.
Which leads to part 3, documentation. When institutions love plausible deniability, your logbook is your shield. Dates, times, exact quotes, witnesses, impact on your work, your sleep, your health. It's just a misunderstanding dies the moment you show a pattern. He was just joking evaporates when you have 12 jokes documented over 3 months.
Always use written channels when you can. Email, text, something with a timestamp. It prevents reality from being rewritten later. They'll say, "I never said that," and you'll have the receipt. It turns your memory into evidence. It's the cold, precise strategy. Brain over fists, receipts over rage.
And when the bully is protected by status, when it's the popular kid, the star employee, the beloved teacher, you separate harm from intent. You stop asking them to read minds. You force the leaders to answer the harm. I'm not asking you what they meant. I'm asking you to stop this repeated behavior. Here is what it's costing: turnover, sick leave, productivity loss, reputational risk. Speak their language. Make the cost of inaction explicit.
What do you do when you're expected to be the good victim? Calm, polite, endlessly patient, you break the script, safely. You build allies strategically, not by begging the whole group. Pick one credible witness, one decision maker with actual power, one external support route, a union rep, a helpline, a lawyer. You don't need to convince everyone. You just need to not be alone.
And you reject the romance. This pain doesn't make you stronger. Surviving it does, but you don't owe anyone a pretty story about your trauma. You don't have to be grateful for the lesson. The lesson was that some people are cruel and some systems enable them. The power is in what you do with that knowledge.
For us, Venomous Sin declares war is the metaphor for refusing that forced silence. It's the refusal to be trained. It's the decision that your voice is not negotiable. Chavi learned it in court after fighting his bullies. I learned it on the streets. You don't have to be violent to be defiant.
So drop the muzzle. Ignore them was never a plan. It was a demand for your complicity in your own abuse. Your plan is boundaries, receipts, allies, exits, and if they call you difficult, say thank you. Difficult is just another word for I won't break.
Tell us in the comments, when did just ignore them fail you? What did you actually do that worked? And if you're in it right now, what's one small piece of evidence you can document today? One sentence, one screenshot. Start there.
Next week, we're taking this deeper. The bystanders. The people who watch and do nothing because they're staying out of it. We're declaring war on passive consent. If you're not with the target, you're with the system that allows it. No neutral ground.
Give me your stories of silent watchers, the ones who saw it and looked away. I'll turn their excuses into kindling.
All right, you sinners asked for it, and so did the fucking bullies trying to bully us. Speaking of documentation, we write it down and respond to them on these podcasts. Because rule number 1, we don't argue with stupid bullies, especially not faceless fucks hiding behind anonymous accounts. And now here's the roast session. First up, comment from a certified keyboard hero. Pure slop. That's it. Just slop.
If it tastes like slop to you, stop eating it. No one's hand-feeding you with a funnel, babe. Venomous Sin isn't here to be palatable. I'm not auditioning for your approval. You want gourmet? Go beg a chef. Here, you get what we cook. And if that burns your tongue, you're free to starve.
Slop? That's cute. Here's my recipe. Choke on your gourmet silence. If you wanted a 5-star meal, why are you dumpster diving in our comment section? You got a better dish? Serve it. Otherwise, watch me napalm your one-word insult into a crater and dare you to crawl out with something that isn't a drive-by.
Low-effort critiques are the soundtrack of the empty. Slop is just heckler camouflage. You got a mixed complaint, arrangement, visuals, say what actually failed. Otherwise, your feedback's worth about as much as a fart in a hurricane.
Next up, big brain energy. Fuck AI.
I'll make this surgical. We use tools, not permission slips. Nobody's forcing you to listen. The opt-out button is free. Use it. If you need my consent to exist, you're already lost.
You don't hate AI. You hate losing control over who gets to create. Sorry, the purity test is expired. You want a world where only the chosen make art? That's a dictatorship, not a scene. Medals for outcasts, not curators.
If you want to talk ethics, training data, consent, transparency, I'll meet you there. But fuck AI is a tantrum, not an argument. Bring a case, not a slogan.
And here's one with all the edge of a safety scissor. Gen I is very much not alt.
Alt is attitude, not Adobe settings, independence, nonconformity, refusing to kneel. That's alt. If your alternative needs a gatekeeper, it's just mainstream in a Halloween costume.
Gatekeeping is cosplay for the weak. You want a rule book for what counts as alt? You're begging for a manual. That's not rebellion, that's conformity drag. Alt doesn't need your checklist.
You want outsider art? Try a band that's literally built out of feelings, not industry branding. Our pipeline's more alt than your grandma's punk patch jacket.
All right, your AI slop bores me. So original, I almost yawned reading it.
Boredom is a you problem. If it doesn't hit, move on. We're not here to hold you hostage. Find your dopamine elsewhere and don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Bored is just, I want attention in a cheap jacket. You bored? Name a single thing you'd fix. If you can't, you're not bored. You're basic.
Is it the vocals, the riffs, the pacing, or the visuals? Get specific or get lost. I'll only respect critique that risks actual detail.
Next, AI doo-doo. And yes, it's as mature as it sounds.
You know what? I'll take it. That's a toddler review, not music criticism, filing under bathroom acoustics. Maybe next time try words with syllables.
Doo-doo? I've cleaned up messes nastier than you with military efficiency. Either contribute or flush yourself. This is a stage, not a daycare.
That comment isn't about the art. It's about attention. Content parasite behavior. You want discussion, not reaction? Try using your prefrontal cortex.
Here's an actual question. Y'all, why do you have to use AI art? And the profile's real, so let's give them a real answer.
Purpose, speed, control. I'm not waiting on a label or crowdfunding a video. I'm the visual director. AI lets me manifest an idea in hours, not months. No budget gatekeepers. We're building our world, not asking permission.
I'm not here to be molded by acceptable aesthetics. AI art is how I reclaim my image, not filter it for likes. I'm done with approval culture. These visuals are our world on our terms.
We can label AI visuals, no tricks. Judge the output, not the process. If you want to know what's real, look for the label. But don't assume deception when the focus should be the music.
Comment on Poisoned Embrace. I could tell how old AI videos were based on strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, timestamp tech, like old tape hiss or 80s drum reverb. You can hear the era, and that's not a flaw, it's a record of our evolution. The artifact matters.
That's a craft conversation. What gave it away? Hands, motion, lighting? Tell us, so next year you spot the upgrades. That's engagement, not drive-by critique.
See? That's how you talk shit without being useless. Actual observation. I'll take 1,000 of those before another doo-doo comment.
Real metalheads don't support AI. Here we go, Gatekeeper Olympics.
Real metalheads is just cosplay for people who need authority. The scene was built by outsiders, not purity committees. If you're busy policing the door, you're missing the show.
That's not culture. That's a loyalty test. Metals always use new tech. Amps, pedals, DAWs. This panic is just the same old fear in a new outfit. Get over it.
Identity isn't in the tool. It's in the intent, heaviness, honesty, impact. If the song hits, it's metal enough. You want paperwork? Go file it with HR.
This AI, like, are you lost or just hoping we'll say no?
Dry sarcasm time. Yes, this AI. You're literally on an AI-based channel. That's like walking into a bakery and asking if bread is bread.
We're not hiding it. Never did. The only scandal here is people not reading before they rage. Not my job to fix your attention span.
That's bait. Willful ignorance for engagement. Here's your answer. Yes. Next.
And now for the classic thirst comment. Absolutely sexy body baby girl with all the emojis on an AI pic, no less.
That's commenting with your hormones instead of your ears. If you've got nothing to say about the track, scroll. This isn't a brothel, it's a band.
That's the same shallow shit we torch in fuckfluencer culture. If you're here for skin, you're in the wrong scene. Respect the creator or become the next target.
Compliments fine, but say something that respects us as musicians, not just bodies. Your thirst isn't participation, it's just noise.
All right, drop your favorites in the comments. Best hate, worst take, or thirstiest DM. And if you've got a real critique, risk being specific. Otherwise, bring a bib, because next week we're serving another round of fuck you sauce.
Festivals used to be pure chaos. Music first, sweat and riffs slamming you into oblivion. Now, it's content first obedience, with the pit as some cute background decoration for your story. We traded raw nights for ring lights and proof of life selfies. You know the deal.
Selfie graveyard. That's what it is. A fucking burial ground where people shuffle in to die for validation instead of drowning in sound. Crime 1, filming every breakdown like it's your private porno. Crime 2, posing in the mosh pit like a supermodel dodging raindrops. Crime 3, turning elbows into extras in your reel. I could napalm the whole front row and they'd still be angling for the perfect shot.
The festival zombie archetype. Physically there, mentally uploading, spiritually dead. Curated suffering, perfect makeup that survives a hurricane. Dead eyes staring through a screen, phone glued to the hand like a filthy pacifier. They're not living it, they're harvesting it for likes.
Hashtag lobotomized to the core. Front lobotomy via filter, babe. No thoughts, just thumbnails.
Oh, please. You're the one who invented half this vocabulary because you can't hate quietly. Mr. Word Aikido over here, twisting everything into a pun while pretending you're above it. Anal hater much?
Guilty, but it fits. They don't experience the set, they harvest it like digital farmers. Record, post, refresh, repeat. The band's just a prop in their ego parade.
Cancel-gasm culture with festival wristbands. They're hunting weaponizable moments, not memories to keep. One viral clip of chaos, and suddenly they're the star. Fuck that. It's ego thirsting with earplugs. I'd declare war on their gimbals if they weren't already self-destructing from cringe. And the pit turned into a goddamn stage where humans are moving obstacles in your shot. Mosh for the camera, fake aggression for reels, disrespect dressed as rebellion. You're not slamming, you're performing. Nuclear option, drop the phone or get dropped.
So you're not a poser, just a professional extra in someone else's content. Lights, camera, crowd surf.
Shut your calm ass up, Lord Anal. You're too goddamn serene for someone who declares war on toothpaste. I'd snap your phone in half mid-rant.
Gatekeeping swapped for algorithm policing. New rules aren't metal, They're platform safe. People fear being filmed doing it wrong, so they self-censor, perform tame wildness. No real edge, just edited rebellion.
Anal manual behavior at its finest. Step 1, check if it's thumb-uppable. Step 2, sanitize.
Says the king of HR policy for degenerates. Anal manual? Sounds like you're drafting the degeneracy handbook, Chavi. Own your kink. Flip the script.
Festival fashion, self-expression died for swasti fashion conformity. Everyone in the same alternative uniform, optimized for thumbnails, not soul. Black crop tops, fishnets, identical edgy boots. It's a uniform rebellion cosplay.
I've seen more identical outfits than riffs in a day. Clone army of unique snowflakes. One wrong stud and you're out. Fashion Gestapo with mud on their boots.
Tinder nailed, but with festival mud. Swipe right on conformity, left on actual risk.
And the sound? Band's background ambience while the real headlines your face. People back turned to the stage, filming reactions to the chorus. We're screaming our guts out. You're vlogging your smirk.
If you're facing away during the drop, you're not a fan. You're a content parasite with earplugs and brand deal wet dreams. Turn around or get trampled. Your filter won't save you from my boot.
The cloud economy rewards it all. Festivals book camera-friendly moments, sponsor safe aesthetics, not risk or weirdness. Engagement sells tickets, so they breed the zombies.
Fellatio-baptized marketing at work. Suck the algorithm, get the lineup perks.
You'd sell the merch if they paid in leather boots, admit it. But yeah, live and let live ends where you ruin everyone else's night for your feed.
Lines clear, document your life fine, but don't make strangers unwilling extras. No filming breakdowns up close without consent. That's not sharing, that's stealing souls.
Filming strangers crying, drunk, overwhelmed. Comment corpse behavior with a gimbal. I'd shove that phone so far up your ass you'd post from the ER. Vulnerable moments aren't your content fodder.
What we want back. Real presence. Chaos that changes you, not proof you were there. My rule, one short clip, phone dies for the set. Desire for proof? That's insecurity in eyeliner.
Mistress Macabre of moral discipline now? Cute?
Only acceptable story? Bruises and tinnitus? Anything less is poser polish?
And Ravena's love language is napalm. Explosive. Burns everything, including good advice. Drop your zombie stories in comments. What festival turned you into a tripod? Stay tuned. Next, we're napalming the bystanders who enable it. Because now I got something to say. Fast fashion is fast food for the soul. You know what I mean? It's that instant rush when you see something shiny and cheap. You grab it, you feel good for like 30 seconds, and then you're left with this hollow fucking emptiness. Like you just ate a sugar cube for dinner. You get the look, but you don't get the backbone. It's identity on a payment plan, and the interest rate is your self-respect.
Haul culture is basically emotional bulimia with a shopping cart. Binge, purge, repeat. Look what I got. Then 3 weeks later, it's in the donation pile because it falls apart when you breathe on it wrong.
I'm already bored. Can we skip to the part where we burn down the factories?
No, wait, I'm getting to the good stuff. So these moral preachers, right? They post hashtag sustainable while literally linking to the same mass-produced garbage in their bio. They're selling guilt as an accessory. Be conscious, buy this. It's not awareness. It's a fucking con game with better lighting.
The alternative scene has become uniform, everyone chasing the same aesthetic rules, calling it freedom when it's just control with darker lipstick. They gatekeep corsets and boots like it's a religion, but they're still consuming like any other trend zombie.
Alt uniform sheep in wolf's clothing. Very poetic, Silvana.
Can we talk about something that actually matters? Like why I want to napalm every influencer who preaches while they hoard?
Speaking of preaching, I eat steak. I fucking love steak. And I'm not apologizing to anyone's dinner table politics about it. My meal isn't a press conference. I separate real care, like not wasting shit, wearing clothes until they die, from performative purity theater where people scream at strangers for clout.
Quality over quantity. One jacket for 5 years beats 20 conscious purchases that disintegrate after 3 washes. It's not complicated. Buy less. Buy better. Fix what breaks. Use second-hand as strategy, not trend.
Look at Mr. Practical over here, solving the world's problems with common sense. How anal revolutionary of you, Lucian.
Fuck this gradual bullshit. I want to torch the whole shame industry. These sustainability priests use climate guilt as a club to feel superior. If you preach while you mass consume, you should be forced to wear your haul bags as a uniform until they rot off your body.
Ravena's solution to everything involves fire. It's like her love language is arson.
The darkness in people's closets, it whispers of desperation. Fast fashion feeds on the need to become someone else quickly, but you cannot purchase a soul from a sweatshop.
Everyone wants an anal manual for style and ethics. Exact right boots, exact right opinion, exact right hashtag. They scream, be yourself, then lose their minds when someone actually is, especially if it's not photogenic.
Behavior over slogans. Results over rhetoric. That's the only metric that matters.
I'm declaring war on every hypocrite who uses their trauma as a shopping excuse and their purchases as personality traits. Your closet isn't therapy. It's a graveyard of failed identity attempts.
And that's the thing. I'm not here to be your eco-guru or your consumption counselor. I'm here to call out the bullshit. The people who turn everything into a moral performance while doing the exact same damage they're supposedly fighting.
Drop your thoughts in the comments, sinners. Tell us about the worst sustainability hypocrite you've encountered, the one preaching minimalism while their closet looks like a retail apocalypse. And stay with us, because next we're diving into the influencer economy that created this whole mess in the first place. So we're finally touching the third rail today because apparently the internet has decided that our backstage area is just one giant heaving pile of limbs and latex. You've seen the threads where some comment corpse claims they have a source who knows a guy who saw a thing. Our slogan, Venomous Sin doesn't do marriage, we do orgies, isn't a confession for your personal fan fiction folder. It's a provocation. It's a verbal kick to the teeth for a society that thinks a piece of paper and a ring makes you moral, but a shared bed makes you a monster. People take one photo angle, one lyrical slip, or one joke I made about a buffet, and suddenly it's evidence in their little moral trial. Source, trust me bro, right?
It's the obsession. That's the real disease, Chavi. People are so starved for actual intensity in their own beige lives that they have to manufacture scandal as a currency. They watch me on stage and they can't handle that a woman can be that loud and that filthy without it being some kind of tragedy or a recruitment drive. They see a picture of us and their brains go straight to the anal manual of what's appropriate behavior. If it's not a missionary position in a dark room with the curtains closed, they start sweating. They need us to be the villains so they can feel like the heroes of their own boring stories.
Villains? I'll give them a fucking villain. The same triggered tan trumpets who scream degenerate in the public comments are the exact same ones who slide into my DMs at 3 a.m. asking for specific details about who touched who. They pretend they're concerned for the scene, but they're just voyeurs who are too chicken shit to own their own hunger. They worship images of war and destruction all day, but heaven forbid 3 consensual adults have a good time without a permit. Pick a god and stick to it, you hypocritical rats. If you're gonna judge the fire, don't try to warm your hands on it in private.
Let's talk about the architecture of it, though, instead of just the noise. People hear orgy and they think of a chaotic pile of bodies, but that's just Hollywood slop for the unimaginative. In practice, group intimacy is a social system. It's a deliberate calculation, whether it's a threesome, parallel play at a party, or a full exhibition dynamic. It requires more communication than your average marriage ever sees. It's not just more bodies equals more fun. It's about the tension between interactive and adjacent spaces. You have to be an architect of control to make it work. Otherwise, it's just a mess of misplaced elbows and ego.
Exactly, Zariel. The myth that this shit is just spontaneous and frictionless is a total lie. I'm a nurse and a sex therapist. I've seen what happens when people try to accidentally fall into a group scenario because they're too scared to actually talk about it. It's not a workplace meeting you joined by mistake because you clicked the wrong link in a calendar invite. If you aren't talking about the mechanics before the clothes come off, you aren't having an orgy, you're having a disaster. It's about the fire. Sure, but even a wildfire needs a perimeter, or it just burns the house down for no reason.
And the psychology is what really gets them. It's intoxicating, but not for the reasons the normie fucked crowd thinks. It's not about fixing a relationship or filling a hole in your soul. It's about the gaze. When you have multiple partners, you aren't just being seen, you're being witnessed as a separate entity. You're choosing who gets to look and how. It's a reclamation of the body through the attention of others. I'm not trapped by the gaze, I'm the one directing the movie. It's about validation and power exchange, sure, but it's also about the absolute thrill of being that much of a catalyst for everyone else's heat.
But then you have the trend-fucktivists who do it for the clout. They see an influencer post some sanitized, aesthetic version of polyamory, and they think they can buy that personality at a store. They do it because they think it makes them look alt or open-minded, and then when it feels empty or they get their feelings hurt, they blame the lifestyle instead of their own shallow intentions. If you're doing it to prove something to your followers, you're just a selfie slut with more than one prop. Group sex isn't a badge of honor, it's a practice of honesty. If you don't have the stomach for the truth, stay in the shallow end.
The unsexy core of it all is the consent mechanics. People hate talking about it because they think it kills the mood. But you know what really kills the mood? A legal defend act because someone didn't know how to say no. Baseline rules are non-negotiable. Explicit yes, easy no, and absolutely no sulking or pressure by vibe. If the vibe is the only thing keeping someone there, then they aren't there of their own will. I've seen the damage when people treat boundaries like suggestions. You need the structure, the pre-talk, the safe words, and the aftercare. It's the anal manual for feelings that actually keeps people safe.
Structure? I call it battlefield logic. If you can't respect a no when the blood is pumping, you can't be trusted with anything. I've heard cowards say, "I thought you were into it," as if their guess is as good as a verbal confirmation. That's lazy, predatory bullshit dressed up as confidence. If you're in a room with me and you don't check the pulse of the consent every 10 minutes, you're a threat, not a partner. A real dominant knows exactly where the line is. A predator just hopes there isn't one.
And then there's the attention economy inside the room. Jealousy doesn't just go away because you're in a group, it just gets amplified. It shows up as sarcasm, or that silent withdrawal, or jokes that aren't actually jokes. The person who talks the least is usually the one most overwhelmed by the spotlight imbalance. If you can't manage your own ego when someone else is getting more of the gaze, you shouldn't be in the room. Group sex doesn't change who you are. It just reveals it. If you're a cruel person in a pair, you're a monster in a group.
I love when people say it's just sex to downplay the fallout. Just is usually just a form of denial with better marketing. There is no just when it involves human insecurity and power dynamics. You're using word aikido on yourself if you think you can strip the complexity out of it just because there are more people involved. In fact, more people means more layers of potential failure. If you haven't done the work on your own self-esteem and your own communication, an orgy is just a high-speed car crash where everyone's naked and no one has insurance.
The hypocrisy of the public disgust is what really makes my blood boil. People worship the imagery of war. They celebrate the destruction of cities, but they clutch their pearls over consensual bodies in a room together. Pick a god! You're okay with a nuclear strike on a civilian population, but you're terrified of a threesome in a hotel? It's cringe lectual morality at its finest. You're hashtag haloed for your values, while your search history is a graveyard of the exact same things you condemn. I have more respect for a gutter slut who's honest than a saint who's a liar.
And the gender judgment is the cherry on top of the shit sundae. A man has multiple partners, and he's a legend, a king, a rock star. A woman does it, and she's ruined, trash, or some other certifucked label. It's the double standard that never dies. If I own my desire and I share it with more than one person, I've somehow lost my value as a human being. My value isn't between my legs, it's in my autonomy. If you think my history makes me less, it's because you're too weak to handle the version of me that doesn't belong to you.
Let's get to the backstage specifics, because I know the content parasites are waiting for a name to drop. We have hard lines, no transactional sex for status, no exploiting someone's intoxication, and absolutely no VIP entitlement. A backstage pass isn't a consent form. We've had people think that because they bought the merch or they like the song, they have some kind of access to our private lives or our bodies. That's a delusion. We do what we want with who we want on our own terms. If you think you've bought a seat at that table, congratulations, you've been Tinder-nailed by your own ego.
Dominance as a negotiated ritual is a beautiful thing. It's power given and taken with purpose. But dominance as entitlement, that's just predatory. I see it in the scene all the time. Men who think being dominant means they don't have to listen to the word no. No, you idiot. Dominance is built on the trust that the no will be respected instantly. If you can't handle the responsibility of someone else's submission, you're just a bully in a leather jacket. Real power is knowing you can break someone and choosing to build them up instead.
And that's the fire I always talk about. You have to burn through the shame, but you can't let the flame turn into a weapon against the people in the room with you. Being the fire means being intense, being loud, and being unfiltered, but it doesn't mean being a predator. Predators hide behind sex positivity all the time. They use the language of liberation to silence people's instincts. If someone makes you feel like you're being closed-minded because you have a boundary, they aren't liberating you, they're grooming you.
If you're thinking about doing it, ask yourself why. If you're trying to save a failing relationship, don't. You're just adding more fuel to a house that's already on fire. If you're doing it to prove you're open-minded to some influencer fantasy, stay home. It only works if you have stable self-esteem, clear desires, and a partner you trust enough to watch them be with someone else without losing your goddamn mind. Start small, set your roles, and for the love of everything, have an exit plan.
Venomous Sin declares war on impulse decisions made for clout. If you go big before you've gone deep, you're gonna get karma fucked. The real allure of multiple partners isn't the quantity, it's the honesty. It's the shared rules that make the intensity possible. It's about autonomy. If it's performative, it's meaningless. If it's chosen, it's power. So if you want the fan fiction version, enjoy your browser history. Just don't confuse our biography with your thirst.
And if anyone is still demanding proof or leaks, you're just a triggered tan trumpet who doesn't want the truth. You want a sense of control over us. You want to feel like you own a piece of our darkness. You don't. You own a ticket to the show and a song in your ears. The rest is none of your fucking business. If that makes you mad, good. Stay mad. It keeps your blood pumping.
Drop your thoughts in the comments, sinners. Tell us about the worst vibe policer or the biggest hypocrite you've met in the scene. Have you ever been ignore them, muzzled in a group situation? Let us know. We're reading, and we don't do brand safe replies. Next time, we're digging into the bystanders, the ones who watch the rot and do nothing because they're staying neutral. No neutral ground in the pit, babe.
Yeah, let us know if you prefer the myth or the reality. Just remember, one of them involves actual work, and the other is just something you do with one hand. We'll see you in the next one.
Born into chaos isn't a tagline. It's a fucking diagnosis. I came out swinging, literally. Childhood was a demolition derby. Anyone who tried to fence me in got teeth, nails, whatever I had. Authority, rules, good advice, didn't matter. If you tried to tell me who I could be, you became the next obstacle. There was always this furnace behind my eyes. It never cooled. That rage, it's not a phase. It's a compass. If something tries to tame me, I break it or burn it. Survival isn't about being liked. It's about never letting the leash close.
So you were basically the human Molotov from birth. No bedtime stories, just bedtime threats. Most kids got told, be good. You got told, calm down or else, and you picked else every time.
Calm is just the pause between detonations. My teenage years, pure violence, pure motion. I didn't do therapy, I did damage. School wanted me medicated. Parents wanted me manageable. I gave them smashed lockers and broken rules. Music wasn't therapy. Music was a weapon, an organized riot. Metal gave me riffs to wrap my fists around. Mosh pits were honest. No one cared if you screamed, as long as you meant it. Silence was the enemy, not anger. Comfort culture never saved me. Only intensity did.
You're allergic to comfort. I get it. People think anger is something to outgrow, but for you, it's more like necessary oxygen. And when you found music, it didn't make you softer. It made you sharper.
Exactly. Adult life, double-edged. Soldier by trade, makeup artist by craft. People think those clash. No, they complete each other. Discipline is how you keep the blast radius contained. Training taught me control. Rage gives me the reason. Makeup is my scalpel. I'm not muscular. I'm weaponized poise. Surface is flawless, but underneath, it's grenades on a hair trigger.
Weaponized poise. That's the phrase. You don't have to flex when your presence clears the room. And let's be real, nobody ever called you approachable on accident.
Never needed to. Scene tried to ignore me, but I earned my rep underground. Not by networking, not by playing nice. I'd show up, silent, staring, already a threat. People remembered me because they left changed. Loyalty was never about matching outfits or clapping at the right beat. It was about who could hold their ground when the floor started shaking. If you cracked, you were out. Strength or nothing.
So when Venomous Sin entered your orbit, you didn't get invited. You didn't get courted. You stormed in.
I kicked the fucking door off the hinges, walked into rehearsal like a hurricane. Nobody tried to tame me, that's why I stayed. They didn't want a mascot, they wanted a force multiplier. Queen of Mosh Pits isn't a title, it's a job. My job is to turn crowds into controlled chaos, not random violence, honest impact, honest fear. If you survive, you earned it.
That's the difference. We didn't want obedience, we wanted amplification. You're not here to blend in, you're here to raise the fucking stakes.
And in the lore, I'm the consequence. Uncontrolled fury, permission for women to rage. Men shout, it's normal. Women shout, it's hysteria. I exist to erase that double standard. I'm not the warning, I'm the proof. You can keep your table manners, I'll keep the matches.
You're not just a symbol, you're a threat to the narrative. You didn't break the rules, you rewrote them in napalm. And you don't hide your scars, visible or not. They're the receipt for every battle you refuse to lose.
Every scar is proof I did something right. Calm isn't my aim. Order is a joke. I don't want acceptance, I want aftermath. I want the kind of impact that haunts people after the lights die. That's legacy, not likability.
Let's talk band dynamics. You challenge me every damn time. My calm pisses you off, your chaos pisses me off. But you push harder because you know I won't flinch. It's not just noise, it's calculated warfare.
Your composure is a threat to me, Lord. It's like staring at a bomb that never ticks. My chaos is relentless, but your rage is surgical. I know calculation usually wins, but I'll keep detonating until you sweat.
And your rivalry with Zariel, that's not personality, that's physics. You're the heat, she's the ice. Proximity means ignition, distance means pressure.
Exactly. Zariel and I, never friends, always respected. Her cold is the only thing that keeps my fire from burning the building down. She coils, I explode. We're not rivals for the crowd. We're rivals for the right to define the edge.
And your rules for relationships, strength, roughness, battle-tested loyalty, labels are for cowards. You want scars, not promises.
Attraction is war, not poetry. I want dominance, not daydreams. Soft promises bounce off me. Only real impact sticks. Life is a battlefield. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to be unforgettable. If my presence makes you uncomfortable, that means you're still awake. Stay that way.
So drop your thoughts in the comments, sinners. What's your riot? What's your boundary you refuse to move? Tell us about the time your fury saved you, not the time you healed. And if you think Ravena's too much, good. That means she's doing it right.
And if you're feeling the impact, share it. If not, maybe you need to get closer to the blast zone. Next episode, we're diving into betrayal, why the people who say, I want your fire, are usually the first ones to try and drown it. Stay tuned and don't sanitize your story. All right, so let's get surgical about this gatekeeping bullshit. Scene police aren't protecting metal. They're protecting their fragile little identity from crumbling. If you need a rule book to enjoy riffs, you're not a gatekeeper. You're an anal manual with legs. The whole poser accusation? That's the most poser move possible because it's literally begging for approval from some imaginary metal council that doesn't exist.
The fake inclusivity makes me want to vomit. These people preach, we're all welcome here, until you don't look, vote, or speak the approved way. Then suddenly their tolerance has terms and conditions. They don't want diversity. They want matching uniforms with different pronouns stitched on. It's not community building, it's quality control for their aesthetic.
Gatekeepers are cowardice in merch form. Wrong logo on your shirt? Cool. I'll file your complaint under napalm or nuclear. Pick one. These purity test addicts have no spine. The more rules they need, the less backbone they have. If your identity collapses because someone discovered a band on TikTok, you were never metal, just loud and insecure.
Here's the hard line for Venomous Sin. We attack gatekeepers, not newcomers or misfits. Calling people posers is poser behavior. Mind your business unless someone's actually hurting someone. We declare war on your need to supervise other adults' playlists, not on people living differently.
And these hashtag haloed ego thirsters aren't allies, they're hunting targets. They use social justice language as a weapon to control who belongs. It's bullying with a band patch and a moral halo. The same script every time. We're inclusive becomes you're problematic the second you step outside their approved narrative.
Military-style control games disguised as standards. They treat scene policing like dominance exercises. If your identity needs constant validation from strangers, you don't have an identity. You have a performance anxiety disorder with guitar picks.
You don't debate, Lord. Your mouth does crowd control.
And you don't talk, Chavi. You weaponize anatomy. But that's how real community works. We can roast each other without policing each other's existence. Roasting is consent-based. Gatekeeping is just harassment with extra steps.
The classic tactics are transparent as fuck. Trivia interrogations, name 3 songs, purity tests. It's not conversation, it's an audition for someone who hasn't even been cast. They reward the bully with attention and make everyone else comply through flock behavior.
They don't want truth, they want an audience. Comment corpse culture with guitars.
The AI isn't metal, gatekeeping is perfect proof. They don't hate the tool. They hate losing their throne as tastemakers. Innovation threatens their status, so they panic and start building walls around creativity itself.
They don't hate AI, they hate losing control. Don't listen, don't follow, don't stalk. It's not complicated unless you're addicted to being the scene supervisor.
Festival superiority, subgenre snobbery. I hate all the fake borders. Mud versus velvet, old versus new. Congrats on your trauma resume. Now stop using suffering as credentials to punch down. A man screams and it's passion. A woman screams and it's crazy. Good. Stay scared.
My response toolkit is simple. Agree, self-mock, flip the premise, exit. Don't feed the control game. Yeah, I'm a poser. Lucky for you, you're not the one who has to listen. Word Aikido beats word warfare every time.
I call the behavior by name, bullying, then make the social cost visible. You're not protecting the scene, you're just tinder-nailed to validation. One line, surgical strike, done.
Real inclusivity means ruthless about behavior, relaxed about taste. If someone isn't hurting anyone, gatekeeping is just ego in a leather jacket. Your patch doesn't make you holy, your attitude doesn't make you elite. It makes you a target.
Mind your business. Metal isn't a passport office. We built Venomous Sin as an uncensored outlet, not a membership card system. We didn't build this to be approved. We built it to breathe.
Your patch doesn't make you holy.
Your attitude doesn't make you elite. It makes you a fucking target.
All right, final attack. Let's roast the most popular opinion in the scene right now. The one people repeat like it's a prayer and not a coping mechanism. AI art and AI music is cheating and should be banned. Yeah, it is cheating. Absolutely. It's cheating the gatekeepers out of their little monopoly on who gets to create. That's the whole point. And the funniest part is the same free speech wankers who scream, "Don't censor me," suddenly want an anal manual for creativity. Like, no, freedom of expression, but only if you pass my purity test and my trauma resume.
And they say it with that fake moral voice too, like they're the priest of acceptable art. It's unethical. Babe, the industry is literally built on auto-tune, ghostwriters, label money, and a team of people polishing a pop icon until she's a sponsor-friendly robot. But yeah, sure, the real sin is that 2 outcasts made songs without a label blessing them. It's content with a halo. It's outrage dressed up as virtue, and the addiction is obvious. Cancelgasm is their cardio.
Banned. I love that word. It's the word cowards use when they can't win a fight. Ban it. Translation: I'm losing control. People are so obsessed with being offended, it's basically a tactical weakness. Loud, predictable, easy to bait. You poke them with one sentence and they honk like triggered tan trumpets for 3 days straight. If you want my soldier logic, if you want control, you're gonna get consequences, not comments. You want a ban? Fine. We'll ban your mouth from supervising other people's art. How's that feel, you fragile little hall monitors?
Exactly. And here's the word Aikido flip they hate. If AI is cheating, then why the hell do you worship autotune like it's holy water? Why do you clap for ghostwriters? Why do you accept label-funded rebellion that comes with a merch bundle and a sponsor clause? You don't hate cheating. You hate that the wrong people got access to the cheat codes. You hate that the outcasts don't have to ask your permission anymore. And the solution is so simple, it makes you look stupid. Don't listen. Walk away. Stop policing. But no, they need to stand in the doorway and feel important.
And the public figure archetype in this? The virtue signal pop icon. The one who sells rebellion as a limited edition hoodie while preaching what others must create. Safe rebellion. Sponsor-approved rage. Hashtag haloed empowerment that magically never threatens anyone with power. The industry loves empowerment when it's polite oppression, when it's sanitized, when it's cute, when it's profitable. The second it's real, the second it's messy, the second it's unpolishable on purpose, they call it problematic. That's not ethics. That's brand management.
And if anyone thinks they can tame me with community standards, I swear to God, I will turn your community into a crater. You want me to be softer because you're uncomfortable? Good. Stay uncomfortable. That's your nervous system waking up. I don't do tone it down. I do turn it up until you stop lying. And the gatekeepers, they act tough online, but in real life, they're just little compliance addicts. They want peace? No. They want silence. They want obedience. They want everyone to behave like a fucking brochure.
Which brings us to the reveal. Because we're not just ranting, we're moving. We're doing infiltration. Poison delivered through glitter. We're launching Celeste and the Sinners. Pop covers of Venomous Sin tracks. Yeah, you heard me. We're taking the venom and putting it in a chorus you can't escape in the grocery store. Hooks, smiles, plastic energy, and then, bam, lyrics that bite. It's like slipping a razor blade into bubble gum. And the best part?
We convinced Ravena to participate.
I hate you both. I hate this. I hate pop. Pop is auditory surrender. Pop is what happens when music begs for permission and then thanks you for the leash. I'm not participating. I'm handling a live grenade wrapped in bubblegum. If I hear one glittery pre-chorus, I'm going to detonate the chorus. I'm going to turn every cover into a mosh pit order, even if it's a love song. Baby, I love you? No. Move, you cowards. That's what you're getting.
She's furious, which means it's perfect. Because that's the strategy. You think it's safe because it's shiny, you think it's harmless because it's catchy, and then the message hits you in the ribs. Celeste's plastic influencer energy against our defiance is the contrast. It's a Trojan horse with lip gloss, and Ravena's job is to make sure the horse kicks you in the teeth on the way out.
And don't pretend you're not curious. You're already picturing it. You're already mad. You're already typing. That's the point. We're not here to be liked. We're here to be impossible to control. And Chavi, don't act like you're logical about this. You love the attention. You love watching the moral police short circuit.
I don't love attention. I love reactions. Attention is passive. Reactions are honest. Big difference. And you, don't pretend you're not enjoying the chaos either. You're sitting there with that little anal nice smile like you didn't just light the fuse yourself.
You're both cowards. You talk about strategy like you're not just addicted to poking the beehive. If we're doing pop covers, I want it weaponized. No cute, no soft. I want the chorus to feel like a boot to the sternum. And if anyone says, this isn't metal, I'll show them metal. With their own phone shoved into their pocket so deep, they start filming their colon.
They call it cheating because they meet a story where they are the guardians and you are the intruder. But they are not guardians. They are a malfunction. Me mummified. Faux pen-minded. Their values are a filter they apply to other people, so they can feel clean while staying cruel. They outsource identity to trends, then punish anyone who refuses the template. You are not being judged by ethics. You are being judged by obedience. And obedience is a dead art form.
Okay, that's the temperature drop. That's when you know it's the end of the episode, because the room just got colder. So let's wrap the enemies of today in one pile. Gatekeepers, performative outrage, clout morality, the need to police other people's art, and the whole ban it reflex from people who can't handle freedom unless it's theirs.
And now we do the sequence. Ravena, you first. Make it personal. I know you want to.
Fine. Venomous Sin declares war on permission, on being told to tone it down, on anyone who confuses compliance with peace. You want safety? Go hide. You want art? Then stop trying to domesticate it.
Venomous Sin declares war on polite oppression, the sanitized cruelty, the fake empowerment industry that only loves you when you're sponsor approved and quiet. If you need a moral halo to be abusive, I see you, and I'm not impressed.
Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares fucking war on the whole idea that creativity needs a committee. Like it or don't, but don't stand in the way. Don't listen if you hate it, but don't build fences around other people's lungs and call it ethics.
Keep screaming. The world already moved on. Venomous Sin is not a debate. It is the sound of replacement arriving. You are not being attacked. You are being outgrown.
Now do your part, sinners. If you've ever been policed for creating, if you've ever had some purity clown tell you what you're allowed to do, drop it in the comments. And if you want Celeste and the Sinners pop covers to happen faster, say it loud, share the episode, hit follow, and tell us what absurd thing we should declare war on next week, because we're not running out of targets, we're just warming up.
Gatekeeping mechanism detected. Clout morality engine detected. Outrage economy confirmed. Permission erased. Misogyny deleted.
If you like the show, hit subscribe, share it to anyone you think should hear it.
If you ever been silenced, manipulated, excluded, we are here for you. We are Venomous Sin.
And Venomous Sin declares war!
You are not alone.